Hey everyone, good evening. It's a nice Friday night, nice and rainy here where we are. So nice day to be inside crafting. So I'm so glad you guys have joined. I want to go ahead and go over with you how to make this box. So on, I think it was Tuesday, we did a Facebook Live on how to make these cards using a Memories and More pack. And you can see there's just beautifully elegant. I think they have pearls and some really nice, pretty spring summer colors. And then they also have these matching envelopes that come with them. So you get the card bases and the envelopes for $10. And then you can purchase something called Memories and More cards, which come in different sizes. They come in 4 inches by 3 inches and then 4 by 6. And then you can take those and use them to decorate the card bases. And then you end up with a nice set of beautiful cards. Well, one thing you don't get with these is a box to put them in. So I thought it would be a fun video to show you how to make this box with a lid. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to make a box that we can actually put our cards in. And so let's get started. All right. So we're going to put this off to the side. And the first thing we're going to do or need is we're going to need 2 pieces that are 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. We're going to take 2 of those. One's going to be for the top of our box. The other one's going to be for the inside of the bottom. I didn't do that on the other box I created, but I thought this might be, something else to do, make it a little bit more sturdy. Then we're going to need 2 pieces that are 1 5/8 by 4 5/8. So we need 2 of those. And then we'll need 2 more for the long sides. And those are again 1 5/8 by 6 5/8. So normally it's a 1/4 inch. So you just basically go down 2 little notches on the 16th of a ruler, and then that will give you the outside paper that we need. Then we're also going to use 2 of the Memories and More cards, and I've just glued these together, and that's going to be for the top of our box. That is what this is too. This was just a Memories and More card, and then I added a sticker and some ribbon. So that's what we're going to do here. And then I also have some ribbon that we're going to put kind of underneath our box. And then we need just 2 pieces of cardstock. And we're going to use Garden Green and Pale Papaya. Now the measurements for the cardstock, we're going to cut this together. But you're going to need, both pieces are going to need to be 10 1/4 by 8 1/4. So we are going to bring in our paper trimmer. And we're going to get started on trimming. So I'm going to bring this in here, and we are going to cut both pieces. Get cut the same dimension. I'm going to show you why that is. We're going to have a great trick that we're going to be able to use here. I will share that with you. All right, so our first piece is going to be 8 1/4 this way. So we're going to line it up with our 1/4 marker there, and just basically shaving off a 1/2 inch. And then we're going to also do 10 1/4. So again, line it up. This is a great craft to do with your kids as well when they're in school and they're learning their ruler and their different measurements, fractions. This is a great way to show them. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut the same piece, and that way we can just put our nice trimmer away because we will not need it again. So again, we're going to take a 1/4 inch off, and then we'll do 10 1/4 over here. Yep. Make sure I got that right. One piece is a little bit bigger than the other. All right. So there we go. So we have our 2 pieces of cardstock. Now what we're going to do is we are going to bring in something called a scoreboard. And let me get that over here. All right. And basically how this works is we have all these lines at the top, and we have this small little blade, and it fits right in each one of these notches so that we can make lines. So we're going to make this box. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to make it flush against our edge here. And we want the inside of the box to be about 6 5/8. So what we have to do is around each edge of our box, we need to leave 1.75. The reason is because that's how tall we want the box right here. We want it this tall. So we're going to take our scoring tool here and we're going to line it, find 1.75 here. Oops, right here. That's 1.5. So 1.75. And all you do is you take this ball and you run it all the way down. Then you're going to turn your paper and you're going to do the exact same thing. Go to 1.75, run it all the way down. And we are going to do that on all 4 sides right here. Isn't this just cool? And you can see this is the base of our box. I don't know, might be a little bit difficult to see. You can see this is where a line is, and then this is the inside of our box. Now, we're also going to do the same thing, and this is going to be our lid. Now, this little tool is something called a shim, and it makes it so if we put it over here on the side, we're going to now put our paper up here, and now we have just a little bit, and you just kind of got to leave it lined up. It's just something you make yourself, but you're going to line it up nicely with the shim here. Okay, so you don't want your paper to go underneath, which can sometimes happen, right? So we don't want it to do that. We just want it to sit right there on the end. And then we get to do the exact same measurements that way. So we just go 1.75 again, turn our paper, put it right up against there, but not underneath, and go and do 1.75 again, turn our paper, oops, keep this flat, make sure, there we go, and we're going to do 1.75 again, and one more time, and 1.75 again. This little tool actually was created by another demonstrator. Her name is Connie Stewart. So if you go to simplestamping.com, she has a video out on how to make these. I am probably going to create one just because I think it is such a great tool to use. And it's super easy to make, but if you have one of these scoring boards, it really works well. So we are done with that. So now what we're going to do is now we're going to take our paper and we are going to fold it and use our bone folder. And this just makes us get a much nicer crease in our box here. And we'll just move this right around. I always wondered, like, hey, why do I really need that? I can use my finger to go along the edge. But this does really give you a much cleaner edge. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pick 2 sides. It doesn't matter which ones. They have to be across from each other. So either this side, or the small sides. So I prefer to do the small sides. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut along that score line, that small one here, until you get to the top. Then on the little teeny piece, you're just going to notch out that little bit. So if you remember, I don't know, maybe when you were younger and you had to make a box, or you folded a piece of paper, sometimes it was bulky. All this notch does is get rid of that bulk. That's literally all you're doing. So if for some reason you really did forget, you could go ahead and fold it. You just might get a little bit more of a bulk. So here I'm going to do the same thing, cut this and do a small trim there, and the same thing. And again, remember, you're always doing trimming the corners, not the inside, because the little flaps are going to be inside the box. We're not even going to see them. Oops, didn't get quite good enough. All right, there we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our sides and we're going to bring them in, and we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to bring them in, okay? And this is, of course, the top of our box. So we're going to go ahead and get some glue here and put it right on the inside here and do the same thing here. Actually, we'll just go on the outside. And now we're gonna fold them over and bring our sides up. And then the biggest thing you want to know, and this is why it's great to kind of use the glue, because you do get a little bit of wiggle room, is make sure these corners right here are lined up. Okay, oops. Might have to fix that there. Okay, there we go. We'll just want to make sure those are nice and lined up there, and then the same over here. Okay, so make sure that comes down and over, and just press them together. There we go, perfect. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side of our box. So we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue here. And there we go. And then we're going to fold these again, fold them up, line them up. And sometimes you can do one of them at a time too, because, you know, it might be a little bit less stressful, right? But we're crafting, so crafting's not stressful, right? This is all fun. We're cutting paper, right? We're not saving lives or... All right, there we go. There's our lid. We are going to do the exact same thing on the bottom now. And again, we're just going to fold them over. And you guys will see, if I were to kind of not burnish, funny word, the edge of this, it would be a little bit difficult to they would kind of pop out a little bit. I don't know how else really to describe it, but that's kind of what happens. Anyhow. All right, now we'll do the same thing over here. Again, we just cut it, notch it out. We're making this box, right, to put our cards in that we made on earlier in the week. But you could take this same box and you could make it and decorate it really beautifully, and you could put a picture of your family on the front of it and have everyone write a nice little note to whomever you're giving the box to, you know, just something you appreciated about them in the year, or everybody can make a card for that particular person or family. I mean, how a teacher gift, that would be a nice teacher gift. Put a picture of the class on the front of it. And then you could have all the students write a note. That would be kind. You know, a pastor and his wife for Christmas, things that you appreciate about them throughout the year. It's been a difficult one for everybody. And what a great way just to say thank you, you know, and everyone wants to hear about things that people appreciate about them. Sometimes we go through and we get so caught up in what we're doing that we forget and all that we do for others. All right, I got a little bit of glue there. All right, we're gonna just put that down, and then we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna glue it, fold it over, and again, we can do one of them at a time to make sure that we get them lined up there. Same thing on this side, get it lined up right there. All right, there we go. Now now what we're gonna do, just to make sure that we are all set with our box, right, and our lid, now's the big experiment, right? Now we're gonna make sure that one fits over top of the other, and there it is. Look at it, it's perfect. I love it. All right, so now we're just gonna do some quick decorating and we are done. Now, if you remember, we cut 2 pieces of our designer series paper, and I thought what we'll do is we'll put one at the bottom. I thought that would just make it look a lot nicer, not to mention it will also just make it just slightly more sturdy. So I'm just kind of putting some glue here. A little bit off camera there. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to go and we're going to lay it inside of our box. There we go. So it looks just a little bit nicer. Now we would put our cards in there and then our lid, and we're going to decorate, we're going to decorate the lid next. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our other piece of Designer Series paper. Now, if you guys missed any of the measurements, you can go back, but I will also post them in the project on my little Stampin' Up site. So if you go to fourseasonscrafts.com, I will have a project that gives you the measurements there, so that way you can pull them if you would like. So there we go. Now what we're going to do is put our strips that we have along the sides of our box. So again, we'll just do this one at a time. And they are going to go on the edges. I'm sure you guys can probably think of some other people that maybe you would like to, that if you want to make something for them, or they're one of those, you know, we have a couple people that we buy for, and they're hard to buy for. And it's not that they're don't appreciate things or anything like that. It's just, you know, there's certain people that either they're elderly and they just kind of, they have everything, you know, there's not much that they need. But, you know, what a nice gift just to create something and then put a lot of nice notes, genuine things that you might want them to say. You could also write down a whole bunch of Bible verses. If you know someone that maybe is worrying or fearful of, you know, just all the different things going on in the world, you could write out a bunch of nice little cards and you could number them, or just put them in a box and tell them that anytime, if they're a fearful person or they're worried, you could tell them every time they worry just to, you know, pull out a slip of paper, and on that piece of paper you could have a Bible verse on there. Or maybe somebody who is having a tough time remembering things, you could put a list of all the fun things that maybe you've done with that person. So just lots of different ways to make one of, you know, to use a box that you make. And you can make them, guys, in all kinds of sizes too. So that's the other nice thing. It doesn't have to be just this one size, but this is nice if you have any of those 4x6 envelopes, because now anytime you buy a Memories and More pack, you can make a box to put them all in, So, all right, here we go. All we're doing is gluing the nice decorative strips around the edge, and voila, that is done. So here we go. And now we're going to take 2 of our Memories and More cards that are right here, and we are going to put those up on dimensionals and put them in there. The other thing I have is some of this nice little, it's kind of a twine, if you kind of see it there. It's a little bit of a twine. And I think I'm just going to lay it kind of across the box, and then I'll trim it once it's on here. So get a couple of these little dots. You know, it's funny. I don't know about any of you, but do you guys find you have like all kinds of, maybe you have craft supplies, or card making supplies or anything like that that you have around your house, maybe with your kids. And how many of you find that those come really in handy when you have a little project around the house? I find some of the little crafting things, I don't know what we use those glue dots for, but something was falling down, and I believe we put them on some of our, I don't know if they helped stick something to a surface, or I can't remember what we used them for, but we pulled them out and they were quite handy. All right, we're going to take this and we're going to put it on some dimensionals. And it's funny, you always think you're completely prepared, right? And yet now all I have are little dimensionals, but that's okay. We'll use the small ones. There's big ones and there's small ones. For this, we will just use these little ones. So we'll just pop some on, and then I can go back and fix it later on. Not a problem. So all we're going to do is pop some of these little guys strategically You wouldn't want to make it, of course, so that things don't sink down. That's the whole reason you use so many sometimes, is just to make sure you get a nice even flow with the dimensionals. All right, so it stays nice and straight. Okay, here we go. Sorry, let me get this over here. I don't know if I told you guys, I actually was using some of these dimensionals and it pulled the nail polish right off. It was kind of funny. It was quite funny. Okay. All right. Well, that's like a dud dimensional. That's funny. All right, here we go. Now we're going to pull off the tops. And then we're just going to plop this on our box. And you could decorate, like I said, you could use any of the leftover Memories and More cards that you have. And they would fit beautifully in here. So, all right, there we go. So now what we're going to do, we have our nice little twine there. I'm going to kind of lay it a little bit sideways. And we are now just going to lay this right on top of our box. And we're going to trim this at a little bit of an angle here. Just a little bit further down. Oops. I should use my snips. Okay. And there we have it, guys. There is our nice box. We'll put a few pearls on here to make it sparkle. And again, if you were to buy this pack, you could then turn around and buy these nice little gems and embellishments, and you could use them for scrapbooking, cards, whatever you prefer. And I'm just going to do them again like we've talked about in a triangle when we put them on here. So kind of whatever way you do it, always forms a triangle. But there you go. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you, again, you can decorate it however you would like. But I hope you found this fun and enjoyable. And again, I will have the measurements and all that at Four Seasons Crafts, and you can click on projects and then you will see it there. And again, if you desire to place an order, you can place one until next Friday, which would be, I believe it's November 5th. Using this host code for $50. And if you remember, I will then send you this pack. If you spend $35 or more, you will get the 6 different colors in 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 sheets. And I will mail these out to you. And then you can use them if you're buying the Memories and More pack to kind of help cut and decorate some of your cards. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining. Have a good night. Bye.